Putallaz Health Homes, P.H.H, KP News, March 25th, 2025. Performance Model Plan. Introduction. We at Putallaz Health Homes have observed defects in orthodox methods of healthcare we believe we can correct. Our research team invested 20 years of study into nursing care homes from the inside out. The plan we are presenting is a working performance model plan for the conversion of 24-hour patient care homes into full-time owner-shared apartments and condominiums for the patients who are housed at these care homes. Following through with the rehabilitation promised and eliminating long-term medical machines and monitoring equipment, we bring patients back toward independent living, hospitals into homes in the same building, a permanent solution to a temporary condition. Our brand of recovery care allows patients to free themselves from skilled nursing dependence, while our team transforms the patient care environments into fresh new resident-owned apartments. This shift in approach is so obvious and the results so profound, we have given a new name to this industry, health homes. The conception of this idea and its proven development came as an accumulated result of sifting through the ashes of failed attempts, years of defeat, isolation, loneliness, and despair. The implementation of this plan into action is so overwhelmingly critical and vital right now that the author is unable to present it without emotional eruption surfacing. Only after every friend and family member is rescued from these personal prisons will we be able to lay our heads down and rest content. Our model of transformation is based upon providing service from a platform of partnership. This strategy of business is the only sustainable method of operation in every private and public venture for both corporate and individual success. Individual success does not exist without successful partnerships. The only measurable result in today's world of service is the fulfillment of promised outcomes to the end user, our clients. Direction. Many of the defects stem from the goals of the board of directors and the actual policies of each care home, regardless of the mission statement on the brochure or the website. We are rewriting the entire approach of leadership in the health home industry. As most companies and startups focus a good percentage of research and information gathering into the demographics of market competition, we are positioned to build a market that has not yet begun. This presentation is the first shot fired in Declaration of Independence. The commencement of this revolution is long overdue. Humankind will always require interim health care, health maintenance, and healthy living environments. Our aim is to saturate the health home industry. We look forward to every other like-minded group to bring all of their expertise, vision, tools, and specialists to achieve these outcomes. Competing to heal patients and get them home again is our goal. Let the best team prevail. There is no conceivable loss. Love at work. Timeless subterranean forces permanently entwined in our mission propel us toward a universal goal to experience as much love as possible each day. Love is always reciprocal and omnidirectional. Love is the force at work behind all great efforts of change, delivering every brick and batch of mortar needed to rebuild our broken spirit. Love puts wings on the efforts of peaceful warriors and clears the path of all defeat. While this plan has massive positive financial potential, the impact of compounding interest from restoring our true human spirit is limitless. It is our personal responsibility to bring these changes to light. Margin segments. Major alterations in a business system can flow from apparently insignificant causes. At any one time, people of equal intelligence, skills, and dedication can produce quite unequal results due to small structural differences. We have been trained to think in terms of cause and effect, of regular relationships, of average levels of return, of perfect competition, and predictable outcomes. This is not the real world. The real world comprises of massive influences, where cause and effect are blurred and where complex feedback loops distort inputs, where equilibrium is fleeting and often illusory, where ends of repeated but irregular performance, where firms never compete head-to-head and prosper by differentiation, and where only a few favored souls are able to corner the market for high returns. Viewed in this light, large firms are incredibly complex and constantly changing coalitions of forces, some of which are going with the grain of nature and making a fortune. From Richard Koch, from his book, The 80-20 Principle, 3rd edition. Health homes, health care, and health insurance companies are people businesses, serving the most unpredictable customers of all, people. Healthy people are the best customers and make for healthy companies. Market value. Here's the part where you ask, how can a healthcare provider make money by having all of their patients get better and out of the hospital setting? When a company like Kaiser Permanente provides both health insurance and health care to their members, it makes sense. When the members paying for health insurance and need more health care from their insurance company, the output of care costs rises, and the opposite is true as well. G1 is a graph of income and expense with hypothetical cost figures that give perspective to revenues involved with getting patients well. G1 also shows that when a patient is recovered and the building reconversion to apartment homes is complete, the total government output expense for HUD housing, SSI or SSDI, and IHSS combined for each resident is half of the cost of each patient under 24-hour care. This plan has the ability to take the strain off the entire Medicare system. Graph 2, G2, shows an example of hypothetical figures of real estate values of potential properties that have been reconverted into apartment homes and condominiums compared to properties set up for skilled nursing only. G2 shows the difference in property values and income potential on the rental and real estate markets. A building which has been reconverted has a higher value to potential property owners outside of the care home model business. The cost of remodel it takes to bring the building back to or into a standard of code and finished product to return it to the public rental or sales markets lowers the actual value of the real estate. The damage to the buildings from equipment installation and removal leads to significant volumes of funds needed to bring them back into acceptable standards of condition. The same is true for office or retail spaces which have been used for medical residential care. This increase of property values and individual unit rentals or sales increases and availability bring a significant offset to reduced or lost revenues incurred by transitioning away from a care home model business. We ask any analyst or real estate professional to attempt to disprove these facts. Our level of market scrutiny is unrivaled and up to the minute current. We are expanding our partnership, not attempting to sell a one-time product. Our honesty to our partners is honesty and integrity to ourselves. There is no room for embellishment or exaggeration in a unified partnership of this magnitude. There are too many people counting on us. Nursing staff. What about the nurses and staff who care for patients now in these care homes? What about their jobs and livelihoods? How will this shift impact their families and the community and the economy? When you hear the term skilled nursing or nursing home, which emotion does it bring up in you? Joy and hope for a speedy recovery, or dread and fear of a place you hope to never have to go? Nurses are wonderful people who became nurses on the promise that they could earn a living while caring for grateful patients through their recovery process. These are the true ambitions of the men and women who put in the years of dedication it takes to put on those scrubs and fearlessly take on injury and disease every day. We are not removing nurses from nursing. That is as ridiculous as it sounds. Imagine coming home and telling your family, we got all of our patients home this year. We have built incentive plans to provide staff with cash bonuses for patient recovery and healthy 401k retirement packages with fund match deposits to more than offset any loss in overtime pay. Less hours, more pay, and early retirement make very happy staff. These are the actual policies of our business performance model plan. Pilates method. In the current model of care, movement is considered secondary or separate from skilled nursing. This is the farthest from the truth. We do not have to develop Pilates methods for nursing recovery care. That is where Mr. Pilates developed it from. See works and books by Joseph H. Pilates. Therapy studios. Our first build-out at every Putallaz health home is a Pilates fitness center with massage and treatment rooms, therapy tub, and saunas. Cadillac tables, reformers, floor mats, barrel chairs, and wall units are all Pilates rehabilitation and sustained fitness equipment. Our fitness centers include personal training machines with free weights. Full-service gyms with spa therapy are essentials for recovery care as outlined in this performance model plan. Rapid recovery with permanent results are what Putallaz Health Homes specialize in. Our system integrates Pilates, massage, personal training, physical therapy, yoga, and related movement classes, hydrotherapy with sweat lodge, sauna detox, and cleansing, true wellness and healthy living solutions for everyday prosperity. fresh wheatgrass smoothies, and power shakes to stimulate body regeneration and appetite. Residents who are able to use the Pilates method of recovery to regain their health and independence are statistically more likely to maintain their health with the knowledge of applied sustained fitness disciplines acquired during the recovery process. This makes them less of a risk for future health insurance coverage. Owner investment funds returns help pay for the post-recovery massage, Pilates fitness programs, and private pay IHSS-style CNA assistance with daily tasks. Our residents are not left to defend for themselves. Teamwork makes the homework. Board policies. Investments grow when they are funded. The sooner they are funded, the sooner they can mature, and the sooner they can be shared. Basic. Health insurance companies pay for pre-established amounts of therapy visits per year, typically 120 for every 360 days. 120 into 360 is 3, one visit every third day. This makes sense as a patient receives therapy and then has 2 days to rest, then another session and 2 days to rest, evenly spaced throughout the year. This is a very effective way to ensure results, and the insurance providers have adopted this into policy for payments to the homes and the therapists. Here's one example of when the business models and directives of board policies meet the needs of patients and the nursing staff are caught in between. Investment strategies are part of business policies determined by the board of directors and implemented through directives passed to the staff which affect patient recovery. A strategist hired by the board to increase revenues might look at the policies in place for therapy revenues. Mind you, strategists are not care providers or therapists or patients. They look at the dollars coming into the accounts of the home for facilitating therapy visits, then at the output payments to the billing therapists, and then at the remainder, which is the available surplus that can then be invested. A purely numbers approach to this process is to schedule the therapy sessions closer together, say back to back. Then the home can invoice the insurance company for the 120 visits during the first trimester. This usually is not contested by the therapists, who are happy to receive payments for back-to-back visits, nor the patient, who makes noticeable progress during that first trimester. The families of the patients see progress and are hopeful for recovery. The board is able to fund the investments early, which bring a higher return due to the funds posting all at once rather than trickling in during the year according to every third-day billing cycles. This also avoids redundant clerical expenses for the monthly billing and payment process. So far, so good. On the 121st day, the start of the second trimester, all therapy visits are stopped. One's hopeful patient is placed on the back burner as their value to the home is used up for the year, and they are now viewed as a liability. The patient has one hope left: the investment returns that were originally established to help offset any lapse in care due to limited care coverages by Medi-Cal and Medicare. Only one problem. Okay, two. See the section on investment returns. What inevitably happens is the patient recovery stalls and they decline back to where they were at the beginning of the year. Ending this cycle is the first policy that our team puts into place. Recovery is our strategy of investing. Outline. Skilled nursing and movement therapies are not fully effective unless applied together. The main catalyst for recovery is the will of the patient. One must have a hope of an outcome. Fear often doesn't strike, it just wanders in. Knowing that outcome will bring security and stability to our residents by means of a home that they own and are not in jeopardy of losing due to lapse of income or financial inconsistency gives unbelievable power towards recovery. If you can look up, you can get up. Recruits. Massage and the Pilates method of recovery at hospitals is proven effective, and our massage and Pilates students are recruited locally from colleges and fitness centers in each target area. They earn certifications and receive cash bonus incentives for effective resident recovery under their care. Our lift team specialists are recruited locally in the same manner and earn a nursing assistant certification and cash bonus incentives for effective resident recovery under their care. Massage, Pilates, and nursing assistant courses are required for each certificate. Our program ensures that students build the hours needed as they work towards certification. This allows recruits to pay for the training courses by working with residents. We match up each student with 3 to 6 patient residents to develop under supervision a real client-teacher and patient-therapist recovery care strategy. They learn to schedule private and semi-private sessions, as massage and Pilates studios do currently, and receive all of the methods to develop their own businesses as they learn the actual techniques of therapy and post-recovery care. We pay cash bonuses for each patient recovery and encourage the new massage therapist and Pilates instructors to retain residents as private clients at the new Pilates Health Center in each converted Putallaz Health Home. Nursing assistant certifications are earned in the same way, real on-the-job training towards the student's new career. They build hours and receive cash bonuses for each patient recovery. They too are matched up with 3 to 6 patients and learn recovery care techniques and are encouraged to maintain their new in-home care clients for IHSS, private pay, or insurance coverage. This business performance model is the answer to long-term care and gives this new generation of emerging superstars a solid foundation of mentorship from which to chase their success in this compassion-driven industry. Impact results. Visible results of efforts lead to more effective efforts and more visible results. This chain of events is a predictable pattern of impact we use to build recovery care strategies. When a massage, Pilates, or CNA student sees the visible results of their direct efforts come alive in their clients, they immediately comprehend the value of their work. Any one of the senior instructors or nursing staff has acute knowledge of their own impact on patients and use those experiences to develop their own personal recovery care strategies over the years. This is the education we are providing with our mentorship program. Books and tests are vital to any endeavor for foundational skills. Administering the care combines those skills with the human touch for results that are measured by the heart and soul. Private homes. Our specialists also perform conversions in private homes for Kaiser Permanente member patients who are looking to go back home or to a friend or family member's house. We transform the space or room into a patient recovery care environment and provide the same level of recovery care services to them at home with the help of Kaiser Permanente in-home nursing staff and directors. Students receive the same opportunities for advancement towards certification, cash bonuses for patient recovery, and travel per diems. This encourages the development of clients for massage and Pilates fitness programs and in-home CNA, IHSS, private pay, or insurance clients, ensuring post-recovery success for all involved. Network fulfillment. One piece of the network puzzle is automatic fulfillment of service needs and service personnel. To fill all of the positions necessary in converting 10,000 care homes, tailoring to 1 million patient residents, requires a self-fulfilling staffing structure. Our simple ad describing the need for existing professionals and qualified students to reply to our database and follow the steps for successful patient recovery care will eliminate the cost of hours of standard hiring systems. Pre-screened students with clean backgrounds meet the owner-operators of certified massage and Pilates studios at the new Putallaz Health Home and begin immediately with meeting and interviewing with client residents. Our AI intuitive process policies and procedural strategies guide them through the process. This can all be accomplished on a rollout scale across the country with very little effort and maximum results. Database. All students put together a profile for clients to view and choose from. Our database allows for posting and choosing, schedules and cancellations, and bonus and hours tracking. The senior instructors and therapists view all communications and schedules to approve days and hours. Supervision of students is mandatory during the training process. After the students receive their certifications, the senior instructors and therapists provide continuing support for both the residents and the new instructors and therapists. This process is applied to CNA certifications, as nursing staff provide support in the same manner. All of this is recorded and available for review from our transparent database. This database format ensures each resident is able to voice all reviews and feedback of performance of staff in real time to our Civil Ethics Committee. Each resident and staff receive a network tablet to directly interact with updating, reviewing, and communicating with each other. These tablets have been part of Kaiser Permanente policy for many years and are provided by each building as part of phone, cable, and internet packages. This database takes into account all 10,000 targeted care homes and the preferences of each resident who completes a questionnaire. Each home is analyzed and classified into types, potential, area, and capacity. Our system sources data to determine the perfect match placement of residents into buildings. This is crucial to the outcome desired by each resident relating to activities, interests, and contacts in their preferred area. The power of technology allows every aspect of patient and building transformation to post and progress in real time. As our clients receive therapy in the Pilates studios and recharge in the therapy tubs and saunas, the room conversions happen as if by magic. Their favorite colors on the walls and trim, equipment that is no longer needed is removed, and soft variable lighting installed. Our teams of remodel experts perform every service without disrupting our clients. The objective is not to just satisfy or please our clients. It is our mission to amaze them. It is our mission to begin the conversion of 100 care homes during the 2025 year. The transformation process will have increased efficiency with network expansion market capital deposits after the performance review met satisfactorily. This enables us to project 1,000 care home conversions during the 2026 year and 10,000 by the end of 2027. Within the next 10 years, we're effectively shifting this industry from where we operate today to a new standard of care. P.H.H. KP trademark. Target areas. It makes the most sense to begin our transformation within a 100-mile radius of each Kaiser Permanente hospital, as this is our support network. In order to establish a proper database, it takes more than one or two target areas. Our 3-year plan depends on the database emerging ahead of the conversions for the perfect match placement of clients into area, location, building, unit, amenities, activities, and staff support team. All of this is achieved with the perfect match placement service, an AI interactive real-time data hosting site with global potential. Here's how it is built. Each Kaiser Permanente hospital target area 100 miles radius with 100 care homes identified for classification equates to 10,000 patient residents with 100 average per care home. 100 Kaiser Permanente hospital target area equates to 10,000 care homes identified for classification and 1 million patient residents. This size of database allows for true perfect match placement for every unit in every Putallaz Health building. Now the question arises, how will we pay for all of this information gathering and resident exchanges and transfers? Here is the answer stated clearly. It is more cost-effective to deliver services to the satisfaction of our clients through patient and real estate transformation than long-term medical care. 500,000 5E5 units converted. 1 million 1E6 resident insurance coverage is converted to Kaiser Permanente, and government care costs reduced by 1/2. See indexes 1 through 3. This confirms that net income, after output cost of tax-exempt upgrades and remodels, will show a higher cost-effectiveness by delivering these services. Insurance expansion. New market industries require innovations of products and services. Today's insurance climate has produced a lapse of insurers of apartments and condominiums, regionally in California and other western states. At this point of evolution of this partnership into real estate, asset purchases, sales, and retention, Kaiser Permanente would be wise to at least consider an additional avenue of insurance coverages for the new apartment homeowners and unit rental clients in the form of homeowners and rental policies. Once our buildings have been converted and returned to code, this would provide a viable option for an insurance company to expand their services to an existing customer member base. See Index 4. Operating costs. It is essential that all team members have 100% clear focus on our projects at all times. Therefore, our needs and costs of operations met up front are critical to our success. We are able to perform at full potential only when those needs are met. It is not unreasonable to put our needs first so that we can fully support the needs of others until they can support themselves. In today's economy entering the year 2025, a fair market value of service from a licensed skilled professional entering the $900 billion 9E11 health, home, and real estate market industries is as follows. See Index 5. Shared resources. In addition to the cost of operation deposit into the Morgan Stanley account, we ask Kaiser Permanente for 12 months of credited shared resources. These include office space and conference rooms in each target area, fleet vehicles and charging stations, uniform services, business oversight with policy review, health insurance with workman's comprehensive, and liability coverage for operating. Granting of these privileges allow Putallaz Health Homes to establish a market foothold during our review periods. Satisfactory performance ensures that market expansion deposits by Morgan Stanley investors of LLC, SEC, seed funds that provide the ability to require these resources for ourselves and for reimbursement of the shared resources. All credit extended to Putallaz Health Homes as the first to be settled by seed funds, and future shared resources are entered into our projected cost of operations and paid up front. Combined purchase power lowers the cost of resources, one of the many benefits of network partnerships. Project deployment. When obstacles arise that are beyond our scope of duties or experience, we reach out to value chain partners for solutions and advice. We do not operate on guesswork. Our project deployment system is constructed without walls, roofs, or doors. Inherent transparency 24/7, 365, with absolute respect for the personal privacy of residents at all times. Resistance and assistance. Now let's look at obstacles and roadblocks. Overcoming antiquated greed-based money-skimming avenues of unsustainable and immoral running of businesses is the only competition we face. Many of the institutions, investors, and board members have gotten used to income at the expense of others' business models. They will put up a fight, no question. We are impervious to these types of persons and groups. We have scrutinized every aspect of corporate resistance towards oversight and accountability. Any use of fear, intimidation, sabotage, or retaliatory tactics are preemptively identified, contained, and eliminated. We never allow these types of persons or policies to reach our clients. We assist with every step: financial planning, estate, funeral, beneficiary statements, legal advice, insurance formalities, VA claims, shopping and automatic product replenishment services, professional visits, transportation, therapy and post-recovery care fitness, security and access, fire prevention, evacuation or shelter-in-place disaster protocol and preparation, events, gardens with food cultivation, and personal space customization. We aim to solve most, if not all, of the challenges involved with re-entry patients are facing today. These are the absolute goals of our partnership. Our revenues will come as a result of performing these duties with efficiency and accuracy. Investment returns. We now describe in detail the formula for utilizing the funds and investment returns already available to each member of each care home to convert patient care environments into resident-owned apartments. Each bed and patient care program on average draws $8,200 a month. Most are covered by the standard medical allowance paid for 24-hour care by Medi-Cal or Medicare and Blue Shield Anthem. The average size care building provides 100 operational beds, of which 90 are full at all times. The other 10 are in transition status and removed from this part of the business analysis. Therefore, the algebraic formula for 1 year gross income per building states, see index number 6. Any fifth grade math student can verify these numbers. Any fifth grader can also, by their own reasoning, assume that it does not take $750,000 to provide care for 2 average-sized classes of students or adults for 30 days, regardless of staff salaries or costs of the machines patients require to sustain them. Yes, these machines are expensive, however they are very reliable and last for years without replacement. Every patient resident has a cost of care associated with their program. The difference of output to input is staggering. 24-hour care facilities invest the difference into pre-established portfolios put together by the board of directors and investor groups. When an individual patient is admitted into a care home building, they become a resident owner and share in the bylaws and workings of the overall business plan. They are direct participants in the partnership and investment group, together with all other residents at the home. They share in the investments made by the board of directors, as do the residency staff and employees who have opted in to receive incentives in lieu of salary increases or hourly pay raises. These residential medical business partnerships, also called investment groups of owners, use similar forms of incorporation. There are variances in claimed income, expense, and tax liabilities that become especially useful when determining, deferring, and sheltering large returns on investments and stock share evaluations. As determined by the business plan, these returns are shared between board members, shareholders, staff, and resident owner patients on a quarterly, or biannual basis. The actual monies can be put into rollover accounts with fixed investment terms, typically CDs, to defer capital gains taxation. When those ROIs are paid directly, then each one of the participants are forced to show earned income on yearly tax filings, at which time up to 40% of the deposits are absorbed by the Franchise Tax Board and IRS. This usually does not concern the staff, board members, or investors, as they are not typically fixed income and provide for their own medical insurance. For the resident owner patients, these returns that were intended to fill gaps in care costs, as described earlier, bring two very problematic scenarios to light. The first is who is eligible to receive cash deposits or payments from ROIs. To reiterate, these payments are shown as direct earned income and taxed as such, up to 40% right off the top. In addition to the taxation, many patients receive Medi-Cal or Medicare and Blue Shield Anthem, etc., which come with pre-existing limits on unearned income. Exceeding those limits leads to the loss of coverages they depend on. The qualifying parameters of the coverages only allow limited cash in the bank, limited earned income, and limited asset retention. The result of depositing returns into their accounts, in most cases, disqualifies them from receiving the insurance coverage, paying for the expenses incurred by the facility in which they are housed, and the same investment group cooperative attempting to pay them the returns. Some of the resident owners are able to establish the aforementioned rollover accounts to reduce taxation and prevent violating the terms of coverage. Most are forced to deflect the payment back to the source, essentially refusing to accept their share of the returns. Most residents are not aware of the investment programs initially. They may not know about them at all due to scenario number 2. The second is far more problematic and leads to family dissolution and can destroy lifetimes of trusted relationships almost overnight. This includes a representative payee who conserves the monies in shared accounts. This is a guaranteed recipe for embezzlement and erodes personal and family connections. Partnership. Partnering with an independent healthcare and insurance provider effectively removes many of the restrictions and limits built into the Medi-Cal and Medicare structure. Couple this with the purchase of these care homes by the same entity, Putallaz Health Homes and Kaiser Permanente. We eliminate the resistance by board members and investor groups. Now having the ability to reinvest those returns back into the conversion of real property to perform tax-exempt upgrades and remodels, as any other homeowner is allowed by law, covers the cost of the room conversion and building transformation from a hospital to residential units. All of this can be done without violating the guidelines and restrictions relating to earned income and asset retention. What this means is that residents become actual apartment and condominium homeowners while maintaining the insurance they require. There is no question as to the soundness of the plan offered here or the positive effects it has on the long-term health of our families, communities, and nation. We have based our beliefs on the freedom of every individual, and those freedoms begin at home. Now you can clearly see how all of the personal service and preferences are paid for. The resources are already available for Pilates fitness centers and family activity areas, with pleasant lighting and paint color themes to the taste of each resident, using low VOC paints, and performing non-toxic alternative construction remodels. Food cultivation gardens, trachs out, and food in. These are the actual goals of Putallaz Health Homes. Morgan Stanley. The analysis by our health, home, and real estate professionals estimate this emerging market industry over a 7 to 10 year investment period to exceed $900 billion, 9011. Our LLC SEC value growth begins with the initial payroll and 2025 operations deposit into the Morgan Stanley active asset account. SEC value growth begins with the initial payroll in 2025 operations deposit of 5E6 with an additional seed fund deposit for market expansion of 5E8 by Morgan Stanley investors with a 7-year maturity net value worth estimate of 2E10 for Putallaz Health Homes. Estimated net gains for Kaiser Permanente over the same 7 to 10 year investment period are 6E11, including potential market expansion into homeowners or rental, including potential market expansion in homeowners or rental insurance policies would account for an additional 5E10 in net profits. SEC trading of health home securities are the next wave of stock market investments, and we are the pioneers. 80-20 and 99-1. In his book, The 80-20 Principle, 3rd edition, Richard Koch describes how 80% of the revenues for any industry are captured by only 20% of the companies. He also shows that networks built on a platform of partnership are dominating the business landscape, and this dominance is very rapidly moving towards 90-10 and will settle at 99-1. Kaiser Permanente is the dominating force in its market arena, and Putallaz Health Homes is positioned to standardize the health home industry under one roof. We are not socializing government health care. We are concentrating market share toward monopoly. Mr. Koch confirms that bigger networks are better networks. Bigger networks match supply and demand more efficiently and quickly because it has more possible permutations of member matches and more data about each member's predilections. Members are best served by a near monopoly. Every care home will become a Putallaz Health Home in partnership with Kaiser Permanente. P.H.H. KP trademark. Mergers and acquisitions. There are due diligence investigative offices in the United States who specialize in care home facilities and their operational oversight, including complaints, injuries, caregiver-to-patient ratios, and active citations. These agencies are vital to zone in and target care homes in need of our immediate help. Our team brings direct accountability and consulting as part of the mergers and acquisition strategy. All takeovers do not have to be hostile. Many of the care homes may welcome a restructure of outdated policies and business models under our leadership. Oversight goals include sensitivity training seminars to bring everyone involved in line with compassionate, loving, and responsible caregiving. Mergers and acquisitions require that stock shares from existing care homes are applied to the Putallaz Health Homes Kaiser Permanente account and reinvested, allowing existing shareholders to maintain a stake in the new industry. Board members will also continue to run the homes and maintain their positions through conforming to our leadership structure, ensuring the continued success of all involved. Hostile takeovers. During the construction of this plan, many of the sensitive issues involved with converting an industry rooted in the income at the expense of others, modality of business ethics, or lack of ethics, have surfaced. While it is important to stay focused on the positive benefits of this market transformation, we have to be prepared for all real conditions facing us. As the author of this model plan, I put every chapter to the full review of our team and take every bit of feedback very seriously. The advice given to me on this chapter was to omit it from the presentation, yet make it available to those members of the Kaiser Permanente team who are positioned and prepared to review and assist with the enforcement part of our Civil Ethics Committee duties. This plan is an elegant and politically correct way to say what it is that we aim to accomplish. Here is the uncensored, unedited, and raw version. Reader discretion is advised. Omitted. We at Putallaz Health Homes have had enough of boards of directors using our friends and family members as human commodities to fatten their bank accounts while taking the money for patient care away from the patients and purposely prolonging their incapacity for financial gains. What we are doing over the next 3 years is walking into every one of their boardrooms and kicking them in their unethical balls, punching them in their financial teeth, and slapping the corrupt out of their policies. Then Big Louie is going to show them how a real health home is owned and operated. We then use the $8,200 a month to give every patient resident the absolute best results imaginable, and this will still be more cost-effective than long-term medical care. as armed patrol operators and supervisors, commercial and private hospital security officers, and professional corporate and civil investigators for international and domestic investigative security services corporations, including San Mateo Security Services, BSIF, licensed exposed firearm patrol operators and supervisors, BSIS investigators, all level of arrest and detain training protocols completed, first line security, armed patrol operators and supervisors, all levels of investigative arrest and detain protocols completed, Pinkerton Securitas, all levels of investigative arrest and detaining training protocols completed for hospital and care home security, Domestic and International Hospital Information Patient Protection Act certified. Our level of training is immense. Our compassion and understanding of truth and justice has developed through providing all forms of protection. This is the foundation of our Civil Ethics Committee duties. We have discussed corporate resistance to oversight and accountability. These can be handled with our mergers and acquisitions program, basic buyouts and purchase options versus lawsuits of fund mismanagement and prosecution. Corrupt money skimming groups will settle to sell for pennies on the dollar to avoid having to be accountable to federal prosecution. This eliminates all resistance to the implementation of our resident owner client satisfaction and full coverage transition to Kaiser Permanente members and building remodels into apartment homes. The treatment of patients is the part of this section that can become overwhelming to most readers. Without the horrific details of neglect and abuse of physical, mental, and sexual types, which go far beyond what the average imagination can conjure, we only describe the methods of protection for our patient residents. Reentry staff helps each one to fill out a survey of service and a questionnaire privately and discreetly, opening an avenue to report staff activity and treatment of patients. This review is cross-reported to the due diligence office's databases nationwide and used for classification of care homes and staff. Each home allocates funds for 24-hour armed security officers to patrol and secure P.H.H. KP residents, staff, and buildings. Security officers receive additional training in Hospital Information Patient Protection Act policies and situation control procedures. In today's volatile climate of potential workplace instability, these are recommended preventative measures. This reality of patient abuse that mostly has gone unreported due to the fear of retaliation and difficulty filing complaints because of physical limitations is addressed professionally and directly by our teams. Zero tolerance with retroactive investigations and absolute prosecution of offenders sets a new level of safety for every patient resident, and we are trained and prepared to ensure these outcomes. Putallaz Health Homes brings peace of mind to the forefront. All patient residents can report directly to our teams with a simple push of a button all staff activity in violation of duties or laws. Staff screening eliminates any potential violations by existing staff. During the conversions of 10,000 care homes and 1 million patient residents over the next 3 years, we will be facing violators and violations due to the law of averages. It is our policy to permanently remove any avenue for abuse to occur. Our building remodels are strategically structured to be safe and secure with open line reporting and investigative teams qualified to take immediate action in response to any internal or external threat. This makes it a safe workplace for all staff to perform their duties to the highest level, knowing that every member of each team is up to par and acting appropriately at all times. On-site professional security is essential to accountability and welcomed by every department performing their duties honestly. Orientation. This presentation is the first step in the revolution of an industry in need of a revolution. Those in the position to retain our services immediately comprehend the value of our partnership and will bring to us the offer of the 5E6 we require for the operating cost and full salary of our team for the 2025 year. This summary of our references, abilities, and complete resume is so strong and impressive that the $250,000 for each team member represents a fair market retainer for services of licensed professionals entering the 9E11 health, home, and real estate market industries. The yearly gains for partnering with Putallaz Health Homes are determined in a simple formula. The actual value of our services may be arrived at by multiplying our annual income by 16 and 1/3, as it is reasonable to estimate that our annual income represents 6% of our capital value. Money rents for 6% per annum, and money is worth far less than brains plus skills equals service. The combined value of our services, which is the product, is represented in another algebraic formula. See Index 7. The deposit amount of 5E6 is to secure a partnership, not a one-time purchase, and is reimbursed from the seed fund deposits on June 5, 2025, with an additional 6% interest for 6 months. P.H.H. KP Outlook. 8 steps to summarize the role of Kaiser Permanente as a senior network platform partner with Putallaz Health Homes, LLC. Item 1. Provide startup capital for the 2025 year. Item 2. Allow credited shared resources for 12 months. Item 3. Provide funding for the initial purchases of pilot program care homes. Item 4. Delegate business oversight and nursing staff directors to ensure pilot program success. Item 5. Establish health insurance policies for the new residents. Item 6. Sell, lease, or rent apartment condominiums utilizing the services of Putallaz Health Homes as conversion remodel specialists and sales, lease, or rental agents catering to existing resident clients, with the possibility of expanding homeowner and rental policy coverages. Item 7. Repeat the process for 10,000 care homes in the western United States. Item 8. Roll out nationwide expansion by 2028 and convert every care home in the U.S. into a Putallaz Health Home under the Kaiser Permanente umbrella, P.H.H. KP trademark. Dominate the health home and real estate market industries by Morgan Stanley's 7 to 10 year 9E11 outlook, securing 6E11 in asset revenues, while Putallaz Health Homes LLC achieves a modest 2E10 in service revenues. Backdrop. My name is Joseph Putallaz. I conceived and authored this plan as an answer to an obsession to free my older brother and hero from the confines of this style of nursing home in which he has been housed for nearly 2 decades. Here's why it is so important to our family. In 2011, I had just returned home to Santa Rosa from a West Coast and Hawaiian Island music tour with my band on limited release. I then went to visit my brother Louie up in Shasta County at a Golden Living Center care home in Redding. When we arrived, I was with my longtime friend and co-worker, Jason Dorfer, a CNA and senior member of the lift team at Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital. I had been the lead security officer at Memorial, working for both Pinkerton and Securitas after their merger. I met Jason on the helipad as he assisted me with a trauma patient extraction from a Reach Medevac helicopter. We made the trip up together from Santa Rosa and were looking forward to seeing the progress Louie was making after a stroke he had suffered. At the first nursing station, we were directed down the hallway to room 22. Walking in, I didn't see my brother, only a man who looked to be an octogenarian, with a distended belly and a trach port which had not been serviced for at least 2 12-hour shifts. My heart fell when I looked at the other bed in the room, which was empty. Back at the nursing station, I again asked which room Louie Putallaz was in. The nurse checked her bed chart again and said, room 22. I told her that I had just come from room 22 and that my brother was not there. Perplexed, she quickly walked with me back down the hallway, and looking in, relieved, she said, "He's right here, silly. You don't recognize your own brother?" Looking closer, I saw Louie's blue-green eyes that were now wide open with a look of terror that I had never seen before from my big brother, who could punch a train off its tracks to save his little brother from harm. I gave him a wet willy. I told him that I loved him and not to worry. By the time Jason had driven us back to Santa Rosa, we had arranged for medical transport to bring Louie to Santa Rosa, transferred his health insurance from Medi-Cal Medicare to Kaiser Permanente, scheduled in-home nursing staff to begin with the next day with training and certification for me to become Louie's in-home care provider. I joined the SEIU IHSS Workers Union, completed all of the background checks, and stopped for fingerprinting on the way home. We then called Apria, the medical supply and equipment company used by Kaiser Permanente, for next-day delivery of the power bed, O2 tanks, nebulizer, gastrointestinal food supply, commode, IV stand, and Hoyer lift. I shared a 2-bedroom unit at the La Mancha Apartments in Larkfield, not far from Kaiser Permanente Hospital in Santa Rosa, where my daughter Vivian was born. My son Gabriel was born in the Redwood City Kaiser Permanente Hospital, as my ex-wife Stella and I chose Kaiser Permanente Insurance for our overall home and business health insurance coverages. The next day, the downstairs living room was converted into Louie's patient recovery care environment due to the skills Jason had acquired at Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital and the skills I had developed while working with Louie years prior on the Mountain Medigas route while he was a district manager and driver for Vital Air and in-home medical equipment delivery service. Louie's in-home patients were miles away from clinics or hospitals in remote areas of Northern California and Western Nevada. Louie's commitment to his clients is nothing short of legendary. Louie's room was fully operational upon his arrival, and we were able to meet every required level of training to care for him and continue to receive the highest levels of in-home care instruction for medical treatment by an IHSS provider under the direct supervision of Beth, the Western Regional Director of Nursing for Kaiser Permanente. The Kaiser Permanente team is the reason for our success. I met my wife Stella in Hawaii. She was on holiday from Pacifica after fully recovering from an automobile accident in San Francisco that had left her hospitalized for months. Stella was a ballerina for the San Francisco Ballet, who had graduated as a performance major from Dominican College. St. Francis Medical Center staff and physical therapy department use a Pilates-based recovery method specific for injured dancers and ballerinas developed for Martha Graham of the New York City Ballet by Joseph H. Pilates. Stella was so moved by her recovery that she changed careers to become a Pilates instructor in the sports medicine department at the San Francisco Bay Athletic Club. I studied under Stella's direction for several years, adding a Pilates instructor certification to my yoga, wrestling, and mixed martial art backgrounds. This training received directly from Stella via St. Francis Medical Center qualified me to train instructors for the last 20 years. I taught instructors at our Stellar Performance Pilates studio in San Francisco, on-site at the San Francisco Chronicle building, on-site at the Marin Kentfield Gold's Gym, Marin College Auditorium, on-site at Brighton Purcell in Nevada, on-site at Cotati City Hall, at our Stellar Performance Pilates Studios North in Cotati, at our Super Slow Fitness Center in Bennett Valley, and partnered with Eric Delk and Jody Perry of the Rona Park Olympic Wrestling Center, teaching self-defense for Safe Kids America. I volunteered at El Molino High School as an assistant coach for the varsity wrestling team, and taught for 2 years as a physical education instructor for the Guerneville Unified School District. Now Louie and I and the Putallaz family are partnered with a group of amazing professionals to help other patients through their recovery process, teaching a Pilates-based performance model plan. Our system applies stretching, massage, traction, and movement assist Pilates, physical therapy, personal training, related movement therapies, passive strengthening for trach removal, swallowing, speech, spa, and sauna recovery care. Louie's recovery includes a drum machine and headphones to develop hand and arm mobility while playing along to his favorite blues songs. Adjustments to medication schedules are necessary to work through atrophy reversal and muscle regeneration, all vital steps for nursing supervision. Teamwork makes the homework. Trademark. Conclusion. Kaiser Permanente is the only insurance and healthcare provider positioned to meet the level of excellence needed for this transformation of the health home industry. Our unified network partnership is not only feasible, it is inevitable. Swiss accounts. Looking at a plan this enormous, one might wonder as to the nature of the Putallaz family roots. We are Swiss on our grandfather's side and Old English on our grandmother's side. Our matriarch, Grandma Patricia Payne, graduated from the San Francisco School of Commerce and really gave us kids the business. 75 years as a self-employed bookkeeper and tax preparer, serving as the president of the Chamber of Commerce, Russian River, and Tri-County areas, and a founder of Russian River Child Care Center. We grew up with adding machines, filing cabinets, Rolodexes, printers, and switchboards as home decor. Our junior high and high school teachers would ask us for tax and real estate advice after class. Google our Putallaz surname and you will be bombarded with genius minds worldwide. Duke University professors, Stanford SLAC Linear Accelerator physicists, leading philosophers, athletes, and European wine trade magistrates. Our Swissness becomes more evident the farther you go back. Global innovation of industries is who we are and what we do naturally. By Louie Putallaz.